Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Chris D Redefined, and it's been a little while. It's been a little longer than a week since I've done my last longer video, so quite a bit, as we all know, has happened. I'm going to be talking all the subjects, all the topics. Me and school. I'm surviving my Portuguese class level B2, barely surviving. We just had our series of what's called mini fichas, which are quizzes, and I did okay in the conversational part. I think he was being nice. I did okay in the grammar part. I did better than, failing, and I didn't do too badly in the grammar part, but the writing part, the essay writing, not good. I failed that part. So that's how school's going. Other than that, I am enjoying it. I'm just not doing great in it. But I knew that I was not going to do well because because I have friends who are much smarter than me who took this level of language and they're repeating it too. So it's I knew I would have to repeat it. So I am going to have to repeat level B2. I can feel it already. I mean, it was my plan to do it, but I know I really got to repeat it. So that's where I am with my language courses, my language program. So with my Eagles, my Philadelphia Eagles, a lot of controversy here. We are at the top of the conference, the NFC conference. So we're on top right now. My Philadelphia Eagles are #1 in the conference, but of course, but we're at week 10 already, and it doesn't mean anything. There's so much controversy because of my team's lack of offense. Incredible defense. We were #1 defensive team last year, and it looks like we're on track to be the #1 defensive team this year as well, even though we got a lot of new players. A lot of the players are very young. I think we have the second youngest, on average, the second youngest defensive team in the country, but it's that's proving to be a great thing because our players have a lot of energy and are very willing to learn from an old coach, Vic Fangio. So doing great on the defensive front on all levels, from the D-line to the linebackers to the cornerbacks. At this point, we finally got that figured out by adding some new pieces, and then also some of our players have stepped up as well. And then the safeties are doing well also. So my Philadelphia Eagles are 8-2, but the offense is a mess. We are in the 25th, 28th, 30th category in almost all the metrics, but for some reason we still win. So I think it's because in the red zone we're very effective, and of course in the red zone on the defensive side we're very effective. So our opponents can't score on us, and if we get in the end zone, we will score if we get down there. So the big controversy is that our #1 receiver, AJ Brown, is just a prima donna, and he just causes all kinds of controversy with some very cryptic tweets. And when he's playing, these video games where you can see him in public and stuff, he's saying things like, "Oh, you'll have to ask our, offensive play caller that," or, I don't really know. I'm not contributing. Don't ask me that kind of thing when he's playing with his friends. So, and then our quarterback, during his last press conference after the game, said, "Oh, that's a KP question," meaning that's a question for our offensive coordinator, which usually means I don't agree with what he's calling, so you'll have to ask him that question. That's almost always what it says. If someone asks me a question and I don't agree with what my boss is telling me to do, I will say, "Oh, you'll have to go talk to Mr. A about that because I don't know why he does it," which usually means I don't like it. So there's a lot of controversy, and then there's some talk from some of the insider pundits that say that some of the people on the offensive side of the ball are not happy with the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Some of the talk is that Jalen is calling his own plays at the line of scrimmage, which as a quarterback you can do. Tom Brady used to do it all the time. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. Jalen Hurts is not Tom Brady at this point. So apparently the offensive play caller is calling a play, and then at the line, Jalen changes everything and works with just one or two other players and then calls a whole different play, which really confuses the O-line. The O-line then has to switch positions or change what they're thinking, and how they're going to attack because of what because of what the quarterback does, obviously. And so and our O-line is all banged up. I know that our O-line is banged up, so this causes, the run game to be a lot less than what we expect. I don't think Saquon Barkley has lost any juice. I don't think he's any worse this year. I think the O-line is unable to create the lanes that are needed for him to break open. And because of this, because of their injuries, it's not that they're inept. Their injuries have caused backups to be in place, or the first string players are playing, like Lane Johnson. Well, now he's hurt; he'll be out for a month. But Cam Jurgens was playing; he got hurt. I think it was second quarter. He wound up leaving the game. So when your first string players are injured, they're not playing 100%. You're not going to get the best play out of them. We don't have the best O-line this year. We did last year. And it's because of injuries, in my opinion. Yeah, I know it's injuries. It's all injuries. So that's where we are with my Birds. We're at the top of the conference. We're doing great. We're on our way to the playoffs. But there's a ton of controversy on the offensive side of the ball. And so between the play caller, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, and the O-line, and whoever else is mad at Jalen Hurts, that's what's going on with my offense. I love my defense, though. Our defense is great. Vic Fangio is handling it. He's a pro. Okay, let's take a look at politics. Politics. Before I go into politics, I did hear from my son just 3 days ago. He sent me an email that said, "Hi, Mom, I'm okay and safe," which is all a mother wants to hear from her 21-year-old son. He had been answering me every third or fourth email, and then there was like radio silence for 7.5 weeks. So I was like, well, what's going on? He was answering, and now he's not. And like I told you, I check the website of his news website where he lives in his neighborhood. I check it every day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, to make sure that there hasn't been a shooting involving a 21-year-old, a car accident involving a 21-year-old, a robbery involving a 21-year-old male, or an ICE raid in his neighborhood. So, I just want to make sure he's safe. So when I don't hear from him for a while, and I'm checking the news, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there was a lot of robberies in that area. So he finally answered me back, "Hi, Mom, I'm okay and safe," which I still think he's too pale and skinny, but, at least he emailed me back. So I'm happy about that. So on that front, I'm feeling relieved. I was feeling quite down there, I have to admit, that since this is a channel about being an estranged mom. It was getting to me that I hadn't heard from him. I started thinking, as many moms do, they just start over worrying. And so I just kept looking at his pictures that he recently sent me where he's not smiling. He's looking very pale, eyes sunken in with dark circles. And I'm like, maybe he's depressed, maybe he's down, maybe he's overworked. He's clearly not eating correctly. Moms do that. So I was starting to get really down. But then I got his email 3 days ago, and I'm feeling better. So it goes up and down. And then the holidays are coming up. It's almost Thanksgiving right now, and I know that's a little bit of a tougher time for me. And I haven't seen my family, my brother and my mom, for over a year. It'll be a year in August, September, October, yeah. So 15 months I haven't seen my family. And so I think the holidays will be a little on the rough side for me. But one of my housemates is from Madeira, the island of Madeira, and she has invited me, which is a beautiful island. It is part of Portugal, but it's off the coast of Portugal. So I have to fly there. And she invited me to her house for Christmas for 3 days. So I'll be going over there for Christmas. So I want to thank Carolina for that. So she's been very kind. And let's see. Oh, I went to a friend's house, Shazur, who might be watching this, and his family invited me over to have dinner, and I get to meet his wonderful brother and his mother, and although I've met his mother before, and she made an amazing Indian dinner. It was the best Indian food I've ever had, and I do eat Indian food, but it was the best I've ever had. And so she sent me home with leftovers. I was so happy. And it was by far the best Indian meal I've ever had. So I want to thank, if Shazor is watching, thank you, Shazor and family, for inviting me. And then, okay, now let's head to politics. Because these Epstein files are blowing up. Dump he can't escape it. He's saying it's a hoax. And then, the book came out, Virginia Giuffre's book about what happened to her. Doesn't name Trump, but it goes into some detail about being human trafficked. And then a lot of the survivors have come forth and given testimony to the Oversight and Accountability Committee. And so there are I think it's over 100 survivors of the Epstein crimes. Basically, it's rape of children, and it's horrific. It's horrific. And Trump is all in there. He's all in there. So now he's saying, oh, release the files. And now there's talk that there was a company that was used to scrub any mention of Republican names and Republican donors out of the Epstein materials. And so that's what they will turn into the Oversight and Accountability Committee, I believe, next week. It's already been, I think, voted on that the Epstein materials have to be released now by the DOJ and Pam Bondi. But we all know it's redacted. We all know that they've messed with the materials. But there are other ways to get to it, going for finance records at certain banks at certain time frames. We'll give up some information as well. The estate of Jeffrey Epstein has a lot of other materials that can be released when they're subpoenaed as well, and they seem to be cooperating with it. So I think we're seeing now that MAGA, the cult MAGA, is starting to blow up. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the sick Republican witch, has shifted and is going more moderate and more democracy, the flag of democracy kind of thing, and saying, the Epstein files should be released. Our economy is a mess. We do need healthcare reform. We need a healthcare plan. That's because her adult children saw their premiums probably double or triple. And now they're probably asking her for financial help to pay their health insurance bills. I'll bet that's quite a bit of the reason why. And you never can. She's just smarter than the other Republicans. She sees where the wave is going and that Trump is addled. He's got no brain left, and that he will start to lose. As we can see, he is, at 35, 36% approval ratings, which who would who would approve of him anyway? But apparently 1/3 of the country is MAGA. I can't even explain that, but 1/3 of the country is MAGA. And so that's what is reflected in the polls. Those people will never change their minds about him. So that's where we stand. We are at the precipice of those files and all the materials being released, I hope. Hopefully, he doesn't try to kind of distract the nation by waging war on Venezuela, since we already know there's warships in that area, and he's already priming it for that. He's also priming the 2026 elections, starting to say, oh, we need military in these cities, and we're voting, the voting there has been corrupt. And he's already saying, I don't like mail-in balloting. Of course, Putin gave him the idea because mostly Democrats vote via mail. And so he's saying, I don't trust mail-in ballots. So he's already undermining the 2026 voting for the midterm elections. And something about the voting machines, the Dominion voting machines got bought out by a right-wing company who is Trump sympathetic. And so, there's going to be messing with some voting machines there. So there's all kinds of things that are still happening that are horrific. Of course, the ICE raids are continuing, although I hear he's pulling out of Chicago and now going to, is it North Carolina or South Charlotte? I think Charlotte, North Carolina is starting to see ICE activity now. So now, now he's headed to the south there. And I believe he's in Tennessee as well. ICE is in Tennessee. So we are starting to see some southern cities feel the wrath of ICE. Yes, I don't even know what to say about that. I hate ICE. Abolish ICE. We need to, I do need to say Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, who is being indicted by Trump, although they're all trumped up charges that aren't going to be founded in court anyway. But she started on her official website. I went to it. I opened up New York's Attorney General, and on her official website, there is a link to where you can upload any videos of ICE that you're taking. I believe another state is doing the same thing. I can't remember which state it is. But if you have a chance to, if you've gotten a video of ICE, certainly you can at least upload it to the Attorney General of New York's website. I'm sure she would get it to the right people. And check if your state has a website where your state can upload ICE videos of ICE activity. So, I think that's it. I believe they've taken off the apps off of the Apple Store for like Block Ice, Ice Blocker, and De-Icer, which were really good apps to trace ICE activity. But there's a new one. I'll have that in my next video. There is a new app that doesn't track ICE per se, but tracks other things that are kind of close to ICE. So I've got to figure what the name of that app is, and I'll have that in my next video. So that's everything that's happening in this estranged mom's life. Pretty crazy. I haven't been super active in Amped Up or Dems Abroad right now. I'm concentrating on trying not to fail my Portuguese program. So I'm a little bit, distracted there. And then also I teach English online, and I'm getting a lot more students lately. So, but that being said, I am still trying to upload videos when I can. My next one will be a short, probably about Portuguese culture. So if you like my content and you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you at the next episode of Chris D Redefined.